Hello, my name is June Noakes and I'm your host for today on Our Ventura TV, and our episode today is on nutrition, and my guest is Cynthia Norton, who has nearly 20 years experience in nutrition. Hello, Cynthia.
Hello, June.
And would you say because I believe you're passionate, knowing you the way I do, you're passionate about nutrition. Would you say that's correct?
I would definitely say that's correct.
And why is that?
Well, I just feel that today, with all the diseases that are approachingly getting higher and higher, obesity, type 2 diabetes, fibromyalgia, all these things seem to be getting worse and worse every year. So my passion is to try to help people reconnect with connecting with food. I feel there's a disconnect to what you put in your mouth and what food actually does for your body.
See, that's exciting because I am totally into nutrition, as you know. So let me ask you a question. See, when I look at you, I always look at your shiny hair and your skin, which is always glowing, and your body because you work out. If somebody, what percentage of do you think is based on nutrition, why you look so good? What is that?
Well, I would say probably 80%, definitely.
Okay.
I think what we put in our bodies, fuels our entire system, our DNA, our cellular, our genes, everything that we have going on is because of what we put in our body.
Okay, see, and okay, I understand, that makes sense. And also, I remember when you speak of health, you say it's body, soul, and I remember what you're saying. You say it's your body, mind, and soul. Now, what do you mean by that?
Well, I think we're all connected. In everything that we do, you have to be healthy in your body and your mind and what you eat. So if something is off just a little bit, then you're not at your 100%. So, you have to be in a good place, you have to exercise, you have to be kind to yourself, and you have to eat well. And that's what makes you 100%.
Okay. So what is your experience? When people say to you that I really want to get into nutrition, but of course it can be expensive with people's budgets, etc. and that,
right.
What is the easiest way to start with in nutrition, living a nutritional life?
That's a good question. Exactly, just maybe making small steps. Working for yourself to make small steps, like adding, just more vegetables and more fruit. And if you can't do that on your own, if you feel like you can't go to, let's say our local outdoor market, which is where I shop all the time, I can buy a lot of produce and organic even, or mom and pop people that are growing in their backyard a lot cheaper than you can, at some of the bigger markets. If you just even buy packaged things that are organic salad, let's say, or vegetables or fruit cut up, and you start doing that slowly, I think we need to get back to more whole foods instead of processed foods, instead of foods that have on the containers you can't really read what they are and you don't have any idea what you're consuming and what it's doing to you.
Okay, that's a super answer. Let me, at this point when you say they go to the markets, etc., and the word that you did say, can you get organic foods in the market?
Yes, you can. You certainly can.
And is it much more expensive than other foods?
I really don't think so. Compared to a bag of some type of fried chips or a bag of, salad greens, it's just a matter of changing your taste buds. I think the more you eat that way, the more you crave those foods. The big craze is juicing or making a blender drink. And it's true because you're really providing yourself with all these nutrients and vitamins and minerals. This is how how God, wanted it to be. Everything was provided for us on this earth, and we're seeming to get further and further away from that by packaged foods and with the dyes, and also going off on, people get stuck. We're hardwired for salt and sugar and fats. So all these fast food places and all these foods are actually designed to make you want more of that. And I tell you what, I've been eating clean for many years, but I also noticed the last 5 years I've made some huge changes. And then I only crave the things that are really good for you.
So when you say in the last 5 years, so you actually do get a craving, so you think, and so like, because of course we're so into obesity at this point in the world, not just in America, in the world. So how do you, if people are really interested, what advice would you give them then? Yes, just to go to the markets and that craving that you feel, how would you, for them just to start?
I would say, talking about mind and body, actually ask yourself, your body, ask your mind, how much is this going to serve me? Like I eat potato chips, how much is these vegetables or even fruit, this apple, or how much is this going to serve my body rather than this?
Yes, versus potato chips.
Exactly, and I think it's a great idea to have your family go with you to an outdoor market and experience that. Kids are growing up not knowing what even certain vegetables are. How about go to the market early, get up and go early, come back home and make some things for the whole week, for a few days, and make them together,
See, that sounds great, because there was something on the television the other day and they were showing young children vegetables, and some of them didn't even know what they were.
Absolutely.
They really didn't. They've never seen vegetables because mom is too busy, and so working, and parents are too busy working.
Absolutely. That's the big problem. It's so much easier to drive through or to pre-order something than to actually make food, and that's how I feel about. I'm passionate about that, showing people how you make food and how it relates and it does something for your body, not to your body.
And I think what people tend to say is, but I've got a job and I've got children, I don't have the time. But you have a job and you have children and you make it work. How did you do that? And how do you do that?
Well, it was slow. You start slow. You pick one thing, maybe processed food, or maybe white flour, or maybe cutting out corn, and soy, unless they're organic, because they're completely genetically modified. You cut out certain things that you maybe even research and talk, find out about, and you make slow steps at doing that. That's what you do. Then your body does start to crave it. But I think slow steps. Not everyone wants an instant pill to have, to make it easy.
Yeah, it's instant gratification.
Exactly.
It is what they want, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay. So for you, you work, again, you've got your children and you've got them involved. Do they go shopping with you in the markets or in the farmers market?
Well, now they are older, but I did have them make food with me when they were younger, see the process and make things from scratch, even if it was cookies. They get to measure, they get to see how it all works. Most people now, it's all a pack. That's where you get your food, from the package.
Okay, and so a word you said earlier was organic, and also you said genetically modified. So could you explain that briefly, how that is? Because I think people hear it, but they just don't understand what it is and think, I can't be bothered to Google it. But so could you explain genetically modified foods, please?
Absolutely, June. That's a great question. Genetically modified organism is where they take a normal seed and then they actually inject some other organism to it to try to make it either a better seed or to help resist chemical or bugs on it. Okay, but the thing is that they really haven't done long-term testing on this kind of procedure to see how it actually affects our body. And actually, corn and soy and canola oil are the 3 top things that are genetically modified. And those, if you look at your package, that is in everything.
Okay, because I know when I go into the store and I start looking at, all these long things, and I think, oh my gosh, well, is this good or is this bad or whatever? So you're saying the 3 things are, could you repeat those again?
Yes.
Corn syrup?
It's corn at all, unless it's organic.
Okay.
Soy, unless it's organic. And then canola oil, which actually was never meant to be an oil. It's called rapeseed oil. And I really hope people Google that and see. And because it's so cheap to manufacture, it's put in everything. Crackers and I mean, these 3 items are in everything. And I personally, I'm not a scientist, I personally think that this is one of the reasons there is so much obesity. And then the high fructose corn syrup. But I mean, here we go again. High fructose corn syrup is coming from corn, but it's also not recognizable in the body at all.
Okay.
Your body doesn't know what to do with it. So,
interesting. So then, now you've said the things that are bad, the corn syrup, the whole thing. So then, if you could give me just give me some things, maybe 3 things that are really nutritious for you.
Okay. I think vitamin C is high on my list, and good vitamin C, maybe a powder form that's all pure, like an amala berry. Of course, the fruits, eating fruits, because vitamin C is water soluble and it flushes through the body, so you can actually take quite a bit of it. But it's for your collagen, it's for your bones, it's for even they're using it in cancer right now intravenously. I mean, vitamin C is a great thing to use. Probiotics for digestion and or fermented foods.
Explain that, probiotics.
Probiotics, well, what happens is you need probiotics to break down the food in your system, in your intestinal system, i.e., we have a lot of Crohn's, irritable bowel syndromes, things like that are, coming up. And people, when they're eating these foods that are devoid of probiotics, then you aren't digesting things properly. Okay, and that's causing problems in your intestinal system.
How would they know, though, whether it's probiotics?
Well, you can buy a probiotic supplement, and or you can make really simply and make your own fermented foods, which is like a sauerkraut, but you make it yourself, or vegetables. I just use all kinds of vegetables in a food processor, and you can buy little starters, culture starters. And you put 3 or 4 tablespoons on a salad, or just eat some in a bowl every day, and you're getting like 500 million probiotics, and it's all natural, and that is going to help people. And as we get older, you don't make as much of that naturally.
Okay.
And then one other thing I would say, like green vegetables. Kale and Swiss chard.
Okay. And isn't it dark green?
Dark green, the magnesium, the calcium, vitamin K, all those are for your bones.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that is really interesting what you've told us. And so, Cynthia, we're running out of time here.
Okay.
And again, thank you for that. But I wanted to say I do hope that you really enjoyed and found it informative what Cynthia had to say to you today. But let me just ask Cynthia one more question. Cynthia, could you tell us, please, if people wanted to find you, how could they do that?
Sure. My website is www.Cynthia, nutrition.com.
Well, that's pretty simple.
It is.
And thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you.
And so I hope you enjoyed Our Ventura TV today. Goodbye.